What's up, you guys? I'm Rachel DeMita, and welcome to the Courtside Club. I am just getting back from Indy from WNBA All Star weekend, and in today's video, I wanted to recap my weekend, share with you guys some of the cool things that I got to do, give you my honest reactions to what was going on the ground in Indy. I did have a chance to go to the 3-point contest and skills challenge, and also the WNBA All Star game. So I want to give you guys my reaction and opinions on those things, and I have a lot of cool videos and photos to share with you guys as well. So with all of that, let's jump right into it. And I apologize in advance if this video is all over the place. I'm running on like 2 hours sleep because there was an event after the game last night that I was at until about 3 a.m. But it was a lot of fun. I'm not hungover, I'm just tired. So with that, let's start by talking about the game. I feel like that is what everybody is talking about right now on social media. I did go to the WNBA All Star game, and unfortunately I am with the majority here who thought that it wasn't the greatest game. Like, there wasn't that much effort that was shown on the court. And there was one point during the game that I was like, is this NBA All Star in July? Because the girls were putting out about the same amount of effort that NBA players do in the NBA All Star game. And it has been something that Adam Silver has been trying to figure out a way to incentivize NBA players to want to play in that game. And also, you guys, I've been to 10 NBA All Star weekends, so I'm very familiar with like all of the things, and I've kind of seen it transform over the years. This WNBA All Star weekend was my first in person. I felt like the players were so excited and happy to be there. They just didn't put that much effort on the court. And I also have to admit that I left during the third quarter. I just kind of couldn't take it anymore. Napheesa Collier's team was winning by over 20 points at halftime. And I was like, you know what? Like, let's watch Glorilla perform at halftime. Let's see if they come out a little bit stronger in the third quarter and start to play a little bit more defense. But the lead just got further and further away, and I decided to go back to the hotel and just get ready for my next event. I will say we did go to the game early, and a lot of fans were going to both the 3-point and skills challenge very, very early, and also the WNBA All Star game. And the energy in the building before the game was crazy. Fans were so excited, and that was just so cool to see. And even with the official player intros, the building was so loud. It was completely sold out. You had the little light up bracelet things all going. It looked so cool, and the energy was like top tier. But I will say that the energy dropped off quite a bit when it started to become a blowout, and you just kind of felt like the players weren't putting that much effort on the court. But I was a little bit disappointed in that because obviously I feel like I was really spoiled by last year's WNBA All Star. If you guys remember, it was Team USA versus Team WNBA, and I felt like there was more on the line for that because it was almost like an ego/pride thing. There was so much drama around the people who were selected for Team USA, and then you had the WNBA All Stars going up against them. So it was like both sides really wanted to win just for bragging rights purposes, and we saw full court pressure, we saw real defense, we saw real plays being run, and that was something that just didn't happen this year. I'm on the fence here because as much as I'm disappointed in the effort that was shown on the court, and I do think that this was an opportunity, even with all the CBA negotiations and the shirts that they were wearing, to really prove like, hey, look at this product, look at the ratings that we can get with or without Caitlin Clark being on the court. Like, this is what we have to offer. I feel like there was a missed opportunity there. However, I do understand from the players' point of view as well. We've talked about how much they are getting paid to play in this All-Star game, and it's only $2,500 per person. And they also have a very short window. They don't have much break. They go from playing a game on Wednesday, going straight into All-Star with appearances, practices, all these different things. So it's not really like they get a break at all. And I believe that teams are already practicing today on Sunday because they have games on Tuesday. And I know that this is also a big part of those CBA negotiations. And from what we have heard, the negotiations are not going well. The players still don't feel like they're getting anywhere with the things that they want and the things that they need for their next contracts. So I get both sides, and I totally get the players feeling like, look, we don't want to go out there and risk our body and expend all of this energy. Obviously, we want to put on a good show and we want to do something that the fans enjoy, but we're kind of stretched a little thin here. But then on the same side, I think that there might have been an opportunity here if the players went out there, played hard, had a great product, got those ratings up, had the building electric for the entire 4 quarters. Like, there's an example there for the people that you're coming to the table to negotiate with, to show like, hey, look at what we can do. Look at the stars in our league. Look at the fans who show up for us. This is why we deserve to be paid more. This is another reason we deserve to be paid more. So that's pretty much all I have to say about that. You guys let me know in the comments below, like, how you felt about the energy, how you felt about the effort. Did you turn off the game? Did you watch the entire thing? I'm really curious to see how the ratings work as well. I know we won't get to see if there was a drop off of when people were turning off their television, but really interested to see what the ratings will be. With that aside, the energy throughout the entire All-Star weekend, from the players' side, from the fan side, was so good. It was so much fun. And I wasn't even expecting that. Like, I didn't realize how upbeat, how happy all of the players would be to be going to all of these different events, to be out there on the court. I went to a ton of events where I was around players from a bunch of different teams, and you saw them hanging out together. Like, it just felt like good vibes across the board. I mentioned that because I feel like there is somewhat of a disconnect sometimes to what we see on social media, the discourse on social media, and what is actually going on behind the scenes between these players, between these teams, the coaches, all of the things. There is sometimes an overreaction on social media. I wanted to point out a video that is circulating right now that I feel like has been blown out of proportion, and that was the interview that Kelsey Plum did after the All-Star game.
The t-shirt, just United front, was determined this morning, that we had a meeting for, and not to tattletale, but 0 members of Team Clark were very present for that. But no, we were just we had a very
that really needed to be mentioned.
I'm trying to make a situation light, okay? But yeah, no, I think it was just all of us getting on the same page for the game. We wanted to do something that was just united and collective, and I thought that it was a very powerful moment and got the point across. And sometimes you don't have to say anything.
Now, so many people are taking this clip and saying that Kelsey is throwing shade on Caitlyn, and I've seen people chiming in once again who don't even cover sports or like in the political space, and they're just seeing this clip and then they have something to say about it. I'm so confused by this because maybe she could have just not mentioned it at all, but she was not by any means shading Caitlyn. There are 2 captains with 2 teams, Caitlin Clark's team and Nafisa Collier's team. Kelsey was on Nafisa Collier's team, and Caitlin Clark's team is called Team Clark. So she's talking about the members of that team didn't go to the meeting where they were talking about wearing the shirts that they wore that said, "Pay us what you owe us." I'm sure that you've also seen that. All of the players during warmups, they wore shirts that say, "Pay us what you owe us," obviously talking about the CBA negotiations, just sending a message that they're still not happy and they do want to get paid more. But I honestly don't have much more to say about this. Like, I don't think there's any bad blood here. She's just saying it was mostly people from our team, like Team Clark didn't come for whatever reason. We don't even know. We don't even know why they didn't. And Sabrina was like, I don't know if you needed to mention that, because Sabrina was probably like, the media is going to run with this. This is going to be a thing. And it did become a thing. So in regards to the t-shirts, one of the things that I did notice being in the building was that there were so many fans who had these little signs and they said, "Pay the players." And there were also chants going on at the end of the game where fans were saying, "Pay them, pay them." But overall, you guys, like I said, the energy in the building, the energy throughout the entire weekend was really positive. And so I feel like all of these extra things, like, we shouldn't let these little sound bites that are kind of taken out of context or not showing the whole context overshadow all of the good things that came out of All-Star Weekend. And so let's get into some of the things that I got to do this All-Star Weekend that were so much fun. The first event that I went to was a live taping of A Touch More, and that is Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe's podcast. And they had a very special guest on the show, and that was Caitlin Clark. So I had front row seats to that. I was working with a brand for that event. So that was the first thing that I did for the weekend. And then after that, we went to the 3-point shootout and the skills challenge. All right, I forget who it was, but someone in the live watch party said, "Hard drinks on you." So thank you to whoever gave us the $10 for our drinks. This is what I have to say about the 3-point in the skills challenge. Why is the whole thing only an hour long? That was crazy to me. I was like, they need to figure this out to make it longer than an hour. Fans are paying really good money to come into the arena only for an hour. They have to figure out some sort of performance. They have to figure out a third event. Obviously, the NBA has the dunk contest, but they have to figure out something. That is my one gripe about that. It was way too quick. Only an hour that's just crazy. For fans to pay all that money to get into the building, they need to fix that. Erica Wheeler was in the skills challenge. She ended up losing to Natasha Cloud. But what I will say about Erica Wheeler, she was there for both nights. The crowd in Indiana loves Erica Wheeler. Anytime she was on the Jumbotron, the whole place came down. They were so excited to see her back in the building. So Indiana fans still have so much love for Erica Wheeler. Other players that fans got really, really hyped for in Indiana, Sabrina was one of them they got super hyped for. Brianna Stewart was one they got super hyped for. Angel Reese was one who they got super, super hyped for. They loved seeing Angel. Who else? Obviously, Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey and Lexie, like any of the Fever players just brought the house down, and Caitlin, of course. But that was my Friday night. And then after that, I went to a couple events. One of the events that I went to was with Coach. They are doing a partnership with the WNBA. And I'm sure that you guys are seeing a lot of clips of the StudBudz dancing with Cathy Englebert. I was actually at that party and I was sitting on a booth, like on the other side of the place where they were all dancing. I saw Cathy Englebert many of times at like multiple events that I was at this weekend. I didn't say anything to her. I didn't talk to her, but I was actually there when the StudBudz were dancing with Cathy. I'm gonna have to think about how I feel about that. It's definitely different for Cathy to like be out late and be breaking it down with the StudBudz on the live stream. But then again, I don't know. It goes back to what I was saying of like good vibes the whole weekend. It really was like that across the board. Players, coaches, Cathy, media, everybody just got along. So fast forward to the next day, I got to do this really cool event with Glamour and Lily, and Caitlin Clark again did another interview with them. It was this fireside chat. They didn't want us to record anything, so I don't have any footage of that. They wanted everyone to have their phones down for that, but it was a nice little like 10-minute chat that she did. And then after Caitlin Clark, Juju Watkins also did a little Q&A. She talked about how breast cancer has affected her family. I believe she had a grandmother who passed away from it. And at that event, there was just so many cool people. I met Lexie Hall at that event and she was super sweet. I got to catch up with Chiney Ogwumike, who I've known for literally over 10 years now. I've known her before she was even on ESPN. I got to catch up with her and that was really cool. I met Bethany Frankel. If you guys follow her TikTok's amazing. Leslie Jones was there. I met her. She's a huge fan of the WNBA. It was cool. It was cool to be in a room with a lot of really awesome people. And then after the game, this is the last thing of my weekend, I went to a Sports Illustrated party. It was put on by Gamebridge and Sports Illustrated. That was so much fun. Diplo was the DJ there. The StudBudz came back there as well. They were on stage with Diplo. Some of my favorite videos are actually of the StudBudz on stage with Diplo. By the way, you guys, the StudBudz like took over All Star. I feel like this might sound dramatic, but the reason All Star was such a good vibe as it was, like it was so happy and connected and all of the things, was partially because of the StudBudz. Like they set the tone. Their stream was going so viral. They had thousands of people tuned into their stream. Everywhere they went, people were like, oh, there's the StudBudz. People were so excited to see them. They're on stage with Diplo. They're backstage. They're giving us the all access and they're kind of healing the WNBA community in a sense. And that's kind of what I'm talking about. They're showing how the drama that we sometimes see outside the lines and on social media and in the media isn't actually what is going on behind the scenes. So I want to shout out to them. Like, I think they're doing an incredible job. Maybe one day we can collaborate on Courtside Club in some regard, but I just thought Teaspoon and Courtney Williams they're doing amazing with the StudBudz. But they were at that party, they were on stage, and we had a blast. Like, I saw a lot of people in the media space, a lot of Fever players were there, players from the Mystics, the Wings, the Liberty, the Storm were there. There were so many cool players in attendance, and it was just a really fun time. So I enjoyed myself. My first WNBA All Star weekend was a success. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I kind of rambled a little bit, but I wanted to give you my honest reaction and recap of the weekend. Of course, let me know all of your thoughts in the comments below. Thumbs up this video if you enjoyed it, and click that little subscribe button because we upload new videos every single week, and I will be uploading more regularly now that I am back in town. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Ooh and ah.